Hello, everyone. Am I live? Am I live? Am I live? Check it up. One, two, three, four. Hello, everyone. Good evening to you. Good evening to you. Today, I just finished my work. I've got my kids today. So, yeah, as you can see, I'm ready. I'm wearing my pajamas ready as soon as I'm done with this video. Just do some communications with family and loved ones and go to bed. I would like to take this opportunity to apologize to my sponsor of yesterday for not being able to finish my video yesterday due to time constraint. She asked me to explain exactly in detail my personal experience. Unfortunately, we did not, both of us did not look into that, how long it's going to take and how many days, actually, like two videos, or the video was going to be very long, which I couldn't take because at this stage, I can only do 1 hour videos due to other commitments. So, hello everyone. Hello everyone. To Miss, I'm not so sure if you're logged on. I sent you a message. Why? Because I was going to do this video early. I did not schedule the time because of how my schedule is running. So what is important is for me to be able to start on time and then time to finish. So since we finished early, what I was doing, I can start the video, let's say at 7:30, and then I will be able to uh, finish my personal experience using the private hospital versus the government hospital. Yesterday, I'll still do an introduction till 30:30. Yesterday, I did my explanation, my experiences of how I first fell pregnant for the first baby and the choice to go to the government hospital, which was due to not having medical aid and the costs involved with it. And today, I will be talking about having a baby the private way, my personal experience, which is sponsored by a lady, newly wedded lady who is pregnant, and she and her husband need advice through other people's experience. That's why I was asked to go into detail to explain to you what I went through, not underestimating private or government, but my personal experience. So I hope it's going to help young couples. I hope it's going to help you or someone that might need this information. Do not hesitate to contact me if you want me to talk about any topic. Um, Obvious for a few ching chings and to sponsor the video. Obvious. I like people that sponsor the video, and it's not about how much how many views or what, but as long as I clarify these sensitive topics or the topics that are not easily explained by others or people, but I give an honest opinion. So welcome to me. But before I start, like I told you, I'm going to start at exactly 7:30. I was supposed to start this video at between 8 p.m. and 9 p.m., but I'm starting it early today just because of time. I'm not so sure I'll be able to cover all the topics. Like I said, when you ask me to do a topic, I do have a notebook and a pen. So before we discuss, I ask you questions, you tell me what you want me to talk about, and I tell you what I can talk about and what I can talk about in public as well. Because I've got a sensor on my mouth, I've got a sensor on my face, I've got a sensor on my what I talk, because I do not want to insult people. My page does not allow insulting, my page does not allow vulgar. No matter how much we differ, I will not allow people to insult each other. I will not allow anyone to body shame. That's why I'm free to come on this page to talk about anything without worrying about how am I looking like. Now I'm in my gear, wearing my pajamas. I'm in my pajamas. Thank you, Woolies, for my pajamas. I'm in my pajamas, which I love very much for this winter. And I'm wearing a hat because, as you know, I've got short hair and I'm done with the wig. I was wearing the wig all day. So I'm in my short hair and this woolly hat because it's a bit chilly in Cape Town. So, guys, welcome. And with all that has been happening, like I said, I was censored and due to my family and loved ones, I'm not going to be doing political topics again. As much as I'm affected, as much as I've got emotions and everything, I'm not going to be talking about politics. This was a request that came through from high authorities that lead me. Okay, I also have got authorities and people that control me and manage me. So due to that fact, I'm not allowed to talk about politics. I can only air what I feel, which does not insult the government or any government. Okay, so please bear with me. All those that want me to talk about anything, I can talk about anything except politics. I've been stopped from talking politics. So for the safety of my family and loved ones, and everyone that care and love about me, I want honestly, personally, to talk about it because I'm not afraid, but I do have responsibilities with other people. I don't know. Okay, thank you so much. No, 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 not now. Not now. Okay. Sorry, guys. It's my antivirus just trying to was giving me some warnings that someone is trying to get into my account. Okay. So my antivirus is telling me that someone is trying to get into my account. Please don't try to get into my account. I've got nothing that you would want to see, except if you want to see funny things, yes, definitely, but not that funny things. You'll be disappointed if you hack my account. But yeah, it seems like my antivirus and the IT guys are working on it. Someone is trying to hack my account right now, guys. Someone is on it trying to hack my account. That's why I said I'm not gonna be talking about politics, guys. We are going to be talking about interesting topics on this page. If you want, if you are stressed, if you are disappointed, if you have got something that is boring or irritating you, anything that I can help you, anything that I can motivate you, anything that can inspire you, anything that can help in your marriage, anything that can help in your relationship, anything that can help in your work environment, anything that can help you career wise, anything that can do anything to do with helping you. Guys, just hold on. I can't believe. Welcome to the mother city, city of Cape Town, the beautiful city. I'm telling you, it was hot just now. Now it's raining, like literally raining. I just can't believe. Maybe it's because I stay close to the ocean, like I stay 2 minutes away from the ocean. But thank God for that. In summer, we've got beautiful weather. But right now, it's like the weather can just change like that. It's raining, and I wasn't prepared. I was just wondering why it's cold. We had supper with the kids, and we prayed it wasn't raining. But all of a sudden, now it's raining. Now I'm left with 2 minutes before my official video starts. So, guys, with all due respect to all the hierarchs in my life and all the people that love and care about me, I'm not going to be talking about politics. I'm proudly Zimbabwean. Like I always say, my name is Jean Kiditeng Chirenje Kobole, half Zimbabwean, half Tswana. My half parent is from Botswana, my half parent is from Zimbabwe. So I'm just that combination. So due to that, I respect both nations for who they've made me. Okay. So without taking much further, I'm also going to just say Zimbabwean lives matter. Zimbabwean lives matter. This is not politics. This is a reality that Zimbabwean lives matter. And to introduce you to my video today, before I get into my first 10 minutes live, I'm going to be singing for you the national anthem of Zimbabwe. I'm not so sure how many of you know the national anthem of Zimbabwe, but I will sing and try to recall it as far as I remember in high school. Okay, so I'll start now. I'm going to be running out of time again, but I'll try to be okay. So here goes the national anthem of Zimbabwe. I take respect, so I'm going to be very respectful when I sing my national anthem because I respect it and I respect my country and I respect the citizens of it. So I'm gonna be very serious when I sing my national anthem. Okay. So this is for Zimbabwean Lives Matter. If you have heard about it, if you haven't heard about it, Zimbabwean Lives Matter. And at this moment in time, I'm going to take a minute to respect and to honor the flag of Zimbabwe and the people of Zimbabwe and our past heroes and our current heroes and everyone that is fighting for the struggle to for the free Zimbabwean lives matter. Okay. Simudzai mureza wedu weZimbabwe yakazvarwa nomoto wechimurenga neropa zhinji ramagamba tidzivirirwe kumandudzo senga ikombo rerwe nyika yeZimbabwe mwari ropafa Zimbabwe, nyika yamadzita teguru edu tose kubva Zambezi kusvika Limpopo navatungamiri vave nenduramonga ikombo rerwe nyika yeZimbabwe. God bless Zimbabwe. I'm just done giving my respect to the nation of Zimbabwe, to the country of Zimbabwe. Zimbabwean lives matter. This is the national anthem of Zimbabwe. I will be singing it here and there. Instead of playing background music, I'll rather emphasize on our national anthem. Okay. So welcome. I'm almost a minute behind with my video. Today I'm talking about my personal experience at the private hospital. Yesterday on my previous video, I was talking about my experience at the government hospital. I haven't yet I haven't yet done the contrast between the two. I was just giving my experience of giving birth in a government or a state hospital. Today I'm going to be talking about giving birth the private way. Welcome to my second born son who had the opportunity to go through the private hospital from day one up to the day he was delivered. Okay, so yesterday I was talking about my first daughter, my firstborn child, who had the experience of giving birth through the state hospital in South Africa and the experience that I went through. So when I left yesterday, I was telling you because of the state hospital that I was in South Africa, it became so full. I was explaining to the public that the reason why many feel the state hospitals in South Africa or in Africa, but I will be talking about South Africa, does not function well, or they are not good like private hospitals. It's not because they are not good. They are good. I'm telling you, South Africa is well advanced. South Africa is beautiful. I'm not just saying because I reside there, but I'm talking to you due to experience of my traveling and my personal experiences in other countries, in Europe, Asia, and Africa. So that's why I keep emphasizing that these state hospitals in South Africa, many like local people might not understand how blessed they are or how lucky they are. But the state hospitals in South Africa are far much better. I'll repeat again, they are better and they've got the high standards like some state hospitals in Europe. When I say Europe, I refer to Turkey, I refer to UK, I refer to Ireland, I refer to some of the places that I have had exposure in seeing their hospitals and how things are done. So when I talk about South African hospital, I'll be comparing to the European standards. So the state hospitals in South Africa are not bad, they are good. But the problem and the challenge which I've experienced myself is overcrowding, one, understaff, two. So they are, because they are free, which is different from other African countries. Any South African citizen is free to go to any state hospital to get medication, to get checked by specialists, to anything that you pay in other African countries. In South Africa, it's free for the citizens of South Africa and for the refugees in South Africa and for other people that have got that do qualify for free state facilities. And then secondly, if you are a foreigner residing in South Africa, you do not expect to get a free facility if you do own a passport and do have a work permit in it. You are allowed to pay for every procedure that is done to you, and a statement will be billed to your address that you give them when they admit you or when they treat you. And due to that, please take note, state hospitals are free for South African citizens, permanent residents, and refugees. The rest of the people, if you are a foreigner in South Africa, you will pay a certain amount, but still that amount is still quite cheaper, quite lower compared to private hospitals. So like I was explaining to you yesterday, after giving birth, after having C-section, I struggled. I did not struggle because I did not I struggled because I did not get help. It was my first time being a new mom. It was my first time being a mother. It was my first time having C-section. It was my first time breastfeeding. And nobody, your mother, my mother was in Zimbabwe. She was supposed to come, but because she's a working person also, she couldn't come, just like my mother-in-law. So we were left with me and my husband then to do everything alone. So which is the reality that most people in foreign countries face. We do not have we do not have the blessings of having extra family members to help you, because the family members that might be there also have got responsibilities. The friends that you might have also have got responsibilities. They need to work, they need to do this. So in state hospital, also the other thing is they do have strict visiting hours, which means even if it's your husband, even if it's your mother, they cannot see you anytime they want. One. Secondly, because of those visiting times, most of the times, like lunch hour, there is no way your husband is going to run from lunch from his workplace to come visit you at lunch hour, which leaves an opportunity for evening visit for your partner to visit you only in the evening, because that would be 7 p.m. visit, which is very late if for the inconvenience of not having public, of if you don't have your own car. That is, if those days when I had a baby there was no Uber, so there was no cheap facility unless you hire those taxis, which were meter taxis and were quite expensive. So those were some of the challenges. And also because I was struggling alone after having a baby, with a baby next to me, with a cut wound, C-section, I couldn't even sit up straight to pick the baby from the trolley, to put the baby in my arms so that I can breastfeed the baby. I could see the baby is hungry. And also because when you give birth to a new baby in state hospital, they keep coming to check the sugar levels of the baby, which means they are checking if you are feeding the baby well. And if the sugar level is low, it means you're not feeding the baby well. If the sugar level is high, which means it's okay, you're breastfeeding well, you need to feed the baby. And because it's normal when soon after giving birth, you feel very sleepy, you want to sleep as a new mom. That's why we say you need help. This is the other point I'm going to explain to you, the difference between government hospital and state hospital. Would like to give you that help, but they can't, due to high number of people giving birth. Like in my experience, I'm telling you, all the maternity wards floors were full. They even moved the other patients to create space for the people that gave birth on that specific day. Not only that day, but for the following 5 days to come. And we ended up being moved. They had to look for other hospitals which had space and capacity to accommodate people like us who had C-sections, who still need to be admitted. Because with the state hospital, when you give birth through C-section, you need like 5 days in hospital, whereby they are giving you antibiotics, injections, and all that, monitoring your wound and all that, so that you don't get infection before they discharge you to go home, and to make sure the baby doesn't get jaundice or things like that. So you stay about 5 days in hospital. So we ended up being moved to Mowbray Hospital. Oh, forgive me, God. Forgive me for mentioning that word. If I was going to edit this video, I was going to edit that part. I'm not mentioning the names of the hospitals. I made a blup mistake. I hope if you did not hear, I wanted to say Mumbo, Mumbo, Mumbo. Again, I wanted to say Mumbo, Mumbo, Mumbo. Okay, so we ended up being moved there, and there it was a state hospital, but because it wasn't busy, we had like private hospital experience in a state hospital. I'm telling you, it was beautiful. So the last 2 days I was there at the Mumba hospital, which gave me the private hospital experience. Wow, how I wished I had had that experience. That's when I met sisters. Why? Because they had the time and the resources. It wasn't overcrowded. They started teaching me how to breastfeed well, because I was struggling with breastfeeding. It was painful. Why? Because I was doing it the wrong way. I started learning how. They started teaching me how to birth the baby, and how to stand up with a C-section, which I couldn't get the first critical days when I needed that help in government hospital. I couldn't get. Why? Because the sisters, the doctors, everyone is working busy, extra hard, overtime, under pressure. So please, when you consider state hospital, please know that you are working with people that are providing a service to thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So it's not only about you and your baby or you and your family. It's about millions of people that need free medication free, hospitalization free, medical attention. So that's the major thing I'm going to highlight to you. And don't think the way you are treated, or don't think the sister is rough. The system could be frustrated. They work under so much pressure, attending to thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of people. So those people, you should consider them. Their attitude, how they behave, and everything depends with the way they are working. If you are someone that works in a working environment, you understand when you're under pressure, you can even snap, because it's not allowed. But the way I saw them working, and the way labor ward is, guys, you're playing with newly born babies, you're playing with sensitive people, critical people with C-sections that can't move, that can't do. You need to push the mother, you need to push the baby, you need to push the mother, you need to push the baby, you need to clean the blood. It's just under pressure and in a state hospital. So when you go for the state hospital, which is a major decision, people need to think before having babies. You need to consider the cost of having your baby. You need to consider that. I wish I had seen a video like this before having a baby or before falling pregnant. I was going to take note. That's why this lady asked for this video, because she had some experience, but she really wanted to hear the real experience of how it is, and I'll explain it as it is. So today I'm moving to my second born, my second pregnancy. So after my first experience in hospital, I made a vow that I was never ever going to go to have a baby in the state hospital ever again. Why? Due to the experience that I had. My experience, which I considered bad, was because of, now I understand, but that time when I was in need, it was so bad that I made a vow that I was never ever going to go the state way when having a baby or delivering a baby. I was going to go private. So with my second child, we opted for the private, which we had planned for and prepared for. So welcome to the private, giving birth in a private hospital. Explanations, my personal experience with giving birth in a private hospital. So as discussed, I'm going to be discussing like the way my sponsor asked me to talk about it. So like I said, with the second baby, priorities. It was our priority to have a baby in private hospital because of my firstborn's experience in state hospital. So priorities counts, which also counts to all those that are first mothers. For us, we had learned this was our second experience. So we were on medical aid. One. So with medical aid, yeah, baby was, we found out I was pregnant. It was good. You just go to your GP. This is private. You've got your medical aid. You go to your GP. Doctor, I'm feeling this. I was actually feeling fine actually with my second baby, but I had missed my period and I suspected I was pregnant with the way my body was just happening. And because we were working towards the second baby, 2 years after my first one, I knew what I was into. So I already like expected it. Like I said yesterday, some knew, some don't, some are well prepared. For me, in this second time, I was ready for it. I was waiting just to know that, ma'am, you're pregnant. So I went to my doctor at Century City. That's where my doctor was. Doctor, this is how I'm feeling, and we are trying to have a baby, so it could be pregnant. I was actually open with my doctor so that he does not waste time trying to ask me so many questions and try to look for diseases which I did not have. I knew what I was there for. I wanted the doctor to do blood tests so that we can confirm that I'm really, really pregnant, because I had suspected that I was pregnant and it was planned, and we all wanted to know that I am pregnant. So doctor did the test as usual, blood test, the private hospital, everything. You just go to the private, with private hospital, you call your GP, make appointment with the receptionist take your details, medical aid details, and before you get there, everything is arranged. Welcome, ma'am, you know your time already. Oh, 10 p.m. If it's 10 p.m. or it's in the evening, my doctor even worked after hours, so I went after work. We went there, did the blood test. The blood tests were samples. Second day, the results were back. Congratulations, ma'am. Would you like to come to my office to discuss the options that we have? And yeah, just to have a chat with you as your GP. And I went to the doctor. Congratulations. Oh, thank you, doctor. Yeah, I was really looking forward to it. Congratulations. It looks like you're really pregnant and you're this week's ahead, and it seems like everything is okay so far. But I'm giving you options. Do you want me to be involved, or do you want me to refer you, or you want to choose the hospital? I would encourage you to go. So he gave me some names of his preferred gynecologists. But because I was on medical aid, I also wanted to have my own experience of the good private hospital that I wanted to have, so that I would have an experience. Little did I know that one day my experience was going to be like wanted by someone. Someone wanted to know how it is. So my doctor gave me options of the nearest private hospitals around me, and he told me the best gynecologist. That's my GP referring me, which was good. He gave me a letter which I would take, and with the results which I would go and give my gynecologist. Course, that's the private route. Once you're confirmed with your GP that you're pregnant through blood results, your GP gives you a referral letter, and then you don't see your GP, you now deal with your gynecologist. So yeah, that was the next phase. Oh wow! Then I started calling around, also checking around, looking. But the hospital that I wanted was because I'm going to be talking nice about this. I don't think it's bad to say the name. So the hospital that I wanted was Netcare. Netcare, Netcare Blouberg. I wanted to go to Netcare Blouberg. If you know Netcare Blouberg in Cape Town, shout out to you. If you work for Netcare Blouberg, shout out to you. I'm talking about Netcare Blouberg. That was my final choice. Though it was a bit far away from me, but that was the decision that I took. I wanted to have my baby at Netcare Blouberg. Because after checking on the internet, Google reviews and all that, and seeing how it is, I actually had to drive around. That's how crazy I was. I actually had to drive around because of my first experience, guys. I really needed to have a nice feel. I really needed to have this private experience, private hospital experience. So I was really looking forward to it. So I had to drive all around all the private hospitals requesting to see. So you can also go as a new mom or a second mom or whatever, or a first timer using a private hospital. You can request to just say, please, can I come? Or just drive yourself to any hospital that you want. Ask them to show you the maternity ward. Ask them to show you the procedures. Ask for prices if you're on cash basis, because they also accept cash. With that time, I think the deposit was 75,000 rands for cash at Netcare. Deposit that was needed if you were to give birth at Blouberg Netcare. It was 75,000 rands then, like 5 years ago. So they tell you the options. So I actually went there, went to Mediclinic, went to all the Mediclinics, went to all the my friend had an experience at Netcare in town, so she also encouraged me to go. So I visited all the Netcares, all the Mediclinics, and then I also went to King's. It's called what? King's, somewhere in Mowbray, Claremont. So it's a very big private hospital. So I visited all the private hospitals in Cape Town so that I could have the experience to make a right decision. I just did not want to just pick any private hospital. I wanted to get the best experience and the personality. My experience was like how they asked welcome me from the reception, the maternity ward department, the sisters, how they were towards me, and everyone else. At the end of the day, I managed to choose Blouberg Netcare. Wow, that was my best decision, I think, for me and my family. It was the best decision, guys. I'm going to be telling you more about this in this video, and also to answer the MEMS questions. So when you are going through the video, she asked me, how do you know about the amounts if you don't have medical aid? If you don't have medical aid, you still visit the hospital, still check the options that you want. And besides these big name private hospitals, there are also small private hospitals, private maternity care hospitals that are around your area. So you can look around, and midwives, they are the best midwives, they all around, that do not work under big hospitals. Why? Because they are also affordable, but they still give you the same private experience. I had friends who had that experience, and I interviewed them and I chatted with them before having this video done, or the notes of this video to be done or compiled, so that I had that experience which I did not have. So I had there are very good private midwives that you can go with if your pregnancy does not have complications. So all you need in that case, you go to your GP, confirm your pregnancy, get a referral letter, select your gynecologist or your midwife. So you've got two options when you're on cash. You select a gynecologist or a midwife. If you're pregnant, there's no complications. Your midwife will tell you, or your gynae will tell you. The difference between a midwife and a midwife could be a nurse that's specialized in midwife, necessarily not a gynecologist. A gynecologist is a medical doctor who further on studied more. Normally, they are professors. From my experience, my gynecologist was a professor. So most of them, they are professors. Most of them, they are medical doctors, professionals who have studied medicine. On top of that, they specialize in gynecology. So that's the difference. But midwives are, many of them are also nurses who specialized in midwife, which means the delivery of babies and until the baby is out, and before and after, post and prenatal and postnatal, they specialize with that. So there are also small private hospitals that cater for that, which you can use, which are affordable. When I say affordable, we are looking at the other lady I spoke to. She went to a private midwife, and she had an option of doing birth, water birth, and she had a baby the natural way, and she paid 18,000 rands, which is very very cheap for a private facility. And she said the place was so beautiful, was nice, she was treated well, the lady was so amazing, was patient with, was it's like the one person giving you 100% attention, which is different when you go through the state. So I'll highlight that. So go, if you say the money that is charged, if you see the quotations that the private hospitals are giving you for cash and you do not have medical aid, please, you can look for midwives. If you never had a C-section, if you want to do the natural birth, if it's your first time, midwives are normally affordable. When I say affordable, you can get someone below 20,000, and some have got their own maternity clinics which can do everything like C-sections and all that, but their prices also vary up to 40,000 rands, which is still affordable, because a big private hospitals, they range from deposit, from, especially for C-sections people with your history, from 75,000 rands, just deposit. Not saying it's the full amount, it was just deposit if you don't have medical aid. So I'll proceed with my story. So after deciding this is what I was going to go with, unfortunately for me, I also didn't know about these private, small private people that offer affordable. But with my medical aid, now when you work with medical aid, if you have medical aid, don't just go to any hospital. You need to go. So when you're pregnant, first thing you need to do when you've got medical aid, you call your medical aid, you tell them you are pregnant, you want to speak to the maternity department. They'll put you through to the maternity department of your medical aid. You tell them, they'll ask you, how far pregnant are you? You must be below 3 months. You need to notify them. Each medical aid have got a time frame. You need to tell them before their time frame. And you can't take medical aid and whilst you're already pregnant. So you must have medical aid before you are pregnant. So there are some closures with your medical aid. So don't just go say, Jean says when you've got medical aid, you're covered. No. You need to take your medical aid and have medical aid 3 months. That's my advice, before the baby, before you fall pregnant or before you make your baby. Okay. So I contacted my medical aid and I told them, and they give you immediately, I don't know what they do in the system, and then they tell you you have got 4 scans, free 4 scans that the medical aid covers, and you have got 2D, 3D, whatever scans, and they gave you, you can use this hospital. For me, because my medical aid covers all, which is a choice also. When you select medical aid, you have got options to use their network hospitals, which is specifically the hospitals that the medical aid uses, or all private hospitals. So for me, because I wanted to have a good experience, when we choose our medical aid, we selected for all private hospitals, which means I had the opportunity to use any private hospital that I want. So some medical aids, you need to look. If you go use any hospital which is not on your network hospital, any cost more than that, because what hospitals and medical aids do, they've got what they call rates. So if the rates are higher than the medical aid, the extra amount, which could be hundreds of thousands, would shock you, will come to you. But luckily for me, I was covered for any private hospital for my second experience. So I went to the hospital. When then I asked there, after I've decided, wow, I'm going to use Netcare Blouberg for my baby. And then I asked around. So what I did is, because at every private hospital in South Africa, they've got specialists, from gynecologists to pediatricians. All specialists are there. They've got their offices in that private hospital. So I started calling all the doctors and all the gynecologists in that hospital alone, calling them, hello, how are you? Is this doctor or a gynecologist? This. Yes. So from speaking to the secretaries and all those, I made a decision on which doctor I wanted. And when I went to do my tour, my maternity tour, to check how the maternity department ward looks like, how would they treat you when you have after C-section, and what happens, and all that. You ask all the questions. They allow you to do the tour. So after doing the tour, I also asked the nurses around, and they gave me three names of the three best gyno, which the nurses thought were the best gynecologists at Blouberg Netcare. Wow, thank you for the advice. And then after calling around also to see the receptionist attitude, because that's for me when I look for a service, I double check and thoroughly double check. I made a decision. I went with that gynecologist that was at the hospital. So it's good to have a gynecologist that works at the hospital you are giving birth. Take note, don't look for a gynecologist from close to your house. And then you want to go give birth to another gynecology, to another hospital that is far away from my house. The hospital that you use, you are going to be giving birth at, if it's a private, that's where your gynecologist offices should be. Why? Because normally that doctor works for that hospital as well. So good advantage for you is when you get in labor, you might be in labor same day your doctor is on night shift or on duty. And besides that, because you are his patient, the day he schedules or the day he knows you are giving birth, he will come for you. So it's important to have your gynecologist at the same private hospital you are going to. Don't have gynecologist here, you're going to give birth in another hospital. It does not make sense. And also to cut costs for you, because if your gynecologist is going to drive all the way from I can say from, for example, from Stellenbosch all the way to Cape Town just to do an operation for you, because remember, your gyne is the one that's going to deliver the baby, natural or a C-section, that's your gyne's job. So you need him to be there. So you're going to waste the resources of your gynae, and he's gonna call you for all the extra costs. So to save yourself and to cut expense, have your gynecologist at the same hospital that you are giving birth at. And advice to other people: don't be like me, looking for the fancy, nicest hospital far away from you. You will hear the story. Why I emphasize on that? Don't do that. Look for a nice hospital that is close to your work or close to your house with your gynecologist that you like. But if you're like me, a risk taker, that's my profession, guys. I'm a risk analyst. If you're a risk taker like me, you don't mind driving far away, or you don't mind being taken far away from your place. Like me, I was so far away. My hospital was so far away from where I was staying. Go for it. If you feel it in your heart, then go for it. But I would encourage people to go to a hospital that you like, that you love, but also not that far. You understand why as I go into my story. So my story goes on. Then we started, everything was okay, and then I had a complication, which I'm not going to get into detail with that. I also explained to the lady that sponsored the video that I'm not going to talk about my experience, because it's an emotional journey for me, which I will not discuss on public. But yeah, I had a challenge with my pregnancy the second time, which made me to end up having what they call it epidermis epidermatitis, something like that. So I'm not going to get drip much into it, but what happened is I lost a baby. I had two babies in my stomach, and I lost one baby. After losing one baby, my body continued making water and everything for as if there were two babies still in the stomach. How the other baby survived is because they were not identical twins, they were fraternal. So the other one was in the other sex, the other one was in the other. I don't understand the terminologies and everything, But it also made me to change my gynecologist because I lost the other baby a day after I came from seeing from an appointment with my gynecologist. And because of that, I was upset, but the other baby was okay. And we continued with the other baby. But then I changed my gynecologist again because I was not happy that I came from not that I blame him, but because I came from having my scan and my appointment with him. Then the next day I the bleeding and all that. So for me, I felt like he should have foreseen that since he was checking inside. And gynecologists in private, they take their time. He really took time with me checking and everything. He could have seen something than for me to wake up in the morning in a pool of blood and all that. So I'm not going to get into that because it's an emotional journey for me, which I'm still also getting over and still healing from it. So I'll continue with my story for the experience. So because of that, and which is also another important thing that I want listeners or the ladies or the young women or before you get married to understand, pregnancy is not 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, you are done. No, this is my story. There are complications with each pregnancy. Some are lucky, some are not. You may be lucky, no complications from day one to last day. Glory be to God. Some are sick, like with my second pregnancy, because of the two babies and losing one and all that. I was big, like huge, like massive. I could struggle to enter through the door. That's how big I was. By 2 months, I looked like I was already 6 months already. By 6 months, I looked like I was already overdue. That's how big my pregnancy was. And due to the complications, my gynecologist, the new gynecologist that I had chosen, who was, thank God for me, Zimbabwean, may your soul continue to rest in peace, Dr. Matinde. His name was Dr. Matinde. He was amazing. He died soon after helping me to have my baby. May your soul continue to rest in peace wherever you are. May your soul, he was an amazing gynecologist whom I'm not ashamed to talk about his work, his amazing work with my pregnancy, and his amazing work which he did in the Western Cape province. May the soul of Dr. Matinde, if I was going to write notes, I was going to put a big hashtag Dr. Matinde. May your soul rest in peace. May God bless your family for the good that you have done to me and my family, and during that challenging pregnancy. My gynecologist was the best. So I will be talking about him because he was amazing. So my gynecologist says, you know what, Jean and Abby, what I want you to know now is this pregnancy is complicated. And now, because of the complications and because she keeps growing big, I kept growing big. And what I'm trying to say is now to couples is you might budget for the pregnancy via, you might have medical aid, then say, oh yeah, we've got medical aid, we've got it all planned. Okay. But there are other costs that comes that the medical aid will not cover. Like for in my case, sorry, it's a call incoming, which I can't take right now. Just excuse me. It's a very important call, just like you guys. Just excuse me. Hi there. I'm on live now. I will talk to you as soon as I'm done. Sorry, you're on live. Have you? So anyway, guys, that's a very important call I had to take. That's my bad. So um he didn't know that I was on live due to some traveling and stuff. So he wasn't aware of this time and rescheduling. He knows my video starts at 8 to 9, but he didn't know that I rescheduled it. So, doctor, because of my complication now, which what I'm telling you, you can plan that you're going through medical aid, but you need to have funds. Young people, you need to have savings. The moment you decide to have a baby is not just like that easy. You need to have savings, extra savings for the baby before you make the baby. You need to have money set aside, irregardless of medical aid. You need to have money set aside for other emergencies that crops up, which your medical aid will not cover. If you have complications like mine, whereby you might need to do more than needed blood test for a pregnant person, or more than needed care that is needed. Like in my case, my gynecologist, he had to refer me to a place called neo what is it called? fetal assessment center. It's in Claremont in Cape Town. This place specially deals with fetal. I don't know how you pronounce it in the medical way. This is they deal with the unborn baby. Okay, so when a gynecologist sees some complications with the pregnancy, he refers you to that fetal assessment center. Unfortunately, my medical aid could not cover that cost. And I had to go to that place every week from I think 5 months until I gave birth to my son. And that place, a visit costs 1,750 rands, guys, which is almost 2,000 rands a week, which was unplanned cost. So bear in mind, I'm not saying that everyone you're going to have experiences like me, but I'm saying before you make or think of having a baby, remember, babies on their own, with the way God creates them, come with challenges. Pregnancy on its own come with challenges. Do not end up in a position like I was, we were, whereby we were not aware of the challenges that were going to come. We thought medical aid, sharp, sharp, we are good, we are covered. Private hospital, gynecologist, scans, covered. Giving birth, covered. Stay in hospital, covered. But surprise came, boom. You need to go to fetal assessment center. This is the place where they analyze the brain function of the fetal. The gynecologist can do that, but he cannot determine, he cannot, the gynecologist cannot see like why, like for me, I was growing extra big, like the water was becoming more and more, and my doctor could see there was something wrong. So he wanted me to go to the fetal assessment center so that they can check if there was something with the fetal. So that's the place you go. It said that you've got a Down syndrome baby, or your baby has got or the lungs are not developing well, or the kidney, or your baby does not have spinal cord. There are so many things that can come with the pregnancy. Your baby can start having problems with heart problems from day zero. And these challenges come up. And as they come up, you need to go to fetal assessment center. That place you need to pay cash. It's cash or no service. Because it's private, guys. It's private. Even if you have medical aid, my medical aid refused to pay for that. They refused. So we had to pay cash, which was per week, because I was getting bigger and bigger, extremely big, to the extent that I couldn't fit in like normal door. I was so big, the pregnancy was so huge. And I couldn't fit shoes. I was wearing stompies and big flat shoes, and I looked like a really big elephant, to be honest. It was so uncomfortable, it was so painful, there was nothing nice about it. And that cost came. So people, when you think of having a baby, just know that you can have a baby that come from zero with kidney problems. You can have a baby that have one kidney that does not develop. I saw at fetal assessment center, I learned a lot at that place, that there are some babies that are even, you can see the disability of the baby so early. And they give you an opportunity. That's the other advantage of going through private. They give you an opportunity to keep the baby growing disabled as it is, or to go for an abortion as soon as possible, because it's a decision that you as a couple have to make. But that's the advantage of going through private. Certain things can be ascertained early, and they tell you your pros and cons. When I say pros and cons to others, in simple terms, they tell you the disadvantages of having your baby like that, how his life is going to be. Are you willing to have your baby disabled from 2 months or 3 months? Because they start saying these things early. This baby is not developing, or this baby does not have spinal cords, or this baby's arms are not going to grow. So they give you the opportunity to decide, are you going to go forward as a family with the pregnancy? Are you ready with the capabilities and the needs, emotional and spirit, everything? It will be your own decision. But thank God for me, it was it was so sad, because you are given a difficult challenge. You are excited. Some had tried so many times, and only at the fetal assessment center, they also cry. Like I said, it's an emotional place. You see people getting out crying. There is also counseling that they are provided with, and some have to make tough decisions, like the baby is completely disabled. Like there is nothing that they can do. So it's either you carry forward with your 9 months with the baby like that, or you decide to terminate the pregnancy. So these are the technology that are there, guys, when you go through the private. At least it's different from long back, and they can also see if your baby will be able to see. They've got signals. They can see if the heart is working well. Your baby has got problems with the brain. They check everything. That's a fetal assessment center. But medical aid, like my medical aid, which was the best, could not cover that. So I come to you again. Before you decide to have a child, it's just not the making of a baby. That's it. No, guys, let's not let's be practical and real and open to each other. And that's why I'm having this video. Think twice before you have a baby. I know God says we must multiply and increase, but these days our lives are different. We no longer do the hunting and gathering. Nowadays there are so many costs involved in raising a child. Think about that. I'm just talking about pregnancy. I haven't told you where I am with my children. And there is no, some of these challenges affect marriages. And as a woman, it's not just having a child because you want to make your husband happy. It's not about having a child because you want to make your in-laws happy. It's about having a child that you are able to take care of, because anything can happen during the pregnancy. I've seen a lot of people that I walked a journey with during my pregnancy that lost their husbands while they're pregnant. So before having a baby, it's not about the burden is on the husband, but also think twice as a woman. Are you able to look after that child alone? Will you be able to cope without a man? In the event of divorce, will you be able to cope with those children without the father? If the father decides not to maintain the children, we have got different views. You can go to maintenance, but if someone doesn't want, you'll find so many ways to dodge maintenance. So, ladies, wedding, honeymoon does not determine that you need to have a baby. Many people used to say, like, when I grew up, I used to say, there's something wrong. White people have got a mentality, they don't want to have babies. But now I've got the same mentality, which is knowledge. I got the knowledge, guys. Having a baby is just that not easy. It's not easy. There are costs involved, costs that are even beyond your imagination. So before you have a baby, think about it. Think about the expenses. Think about the complications. Think about what if one of you loses their lives. It could be you during birth. Will the father be able to cope without you? It could be the father during pregnancy, or anything can happen. Do you have plans secured for those children to grow up? Guys, we are done with the generation of leaving children with no guarantee for the future, of leaving children without knowing what their educational needs are for. So don't just have babies for the sake of having babies. Think about their education. Think about, before you go to education, think about their pregnancy, their life before they come out. Multivitamins. Guys, when you go to private, gynecologist will write you a script of the multivitamins you need to take. You need to go buy multivitamins. And for your own information, good multivitamins costs 399 rands. That's a pack for a month. These are second best, actually. Some best multivitamins which are good for you and baby, which you need to take before you fall pregnant. Remember, prenatal vitamins are taken before you think of having a baby, whilst you are pregnant. And you still need to take postnatal multivitamins whilst you are breastfeeding. We are talking of about 500 to 600 rands cost of just multivitamins to help yourself, your body recover, and to give enough nutrients to your baby. And remember, with the pregnant, some don't eat, some don't throw up and all that. You need to take your multivitamins for the baby. Do you have that expense? We are talking roughly now, I don't know, but let me just say we are looking at 500 rands prenatal multivitamins. Do you have just 500 rands, you and your husband, on budget for the multivitamins of just you and the baby, excluding the other costs? What if you end up needing the fetal assessment place? I don't know how much they cost now, 5 years ago, it was 1,750 per visit. And I needed that visit after every 2 weeks until 9 months. Do you have that money lying around? If you have, good for you, go for it. But if you do not have, before you start thinking of the child, before you start thinking of having a baby, please, please, priorities. Think about that child's university. Universities cost about 100,000, about 100 to 150,000, excluding other things like textbooks, printing and all that, accommodation and stuff. We are looking at 100,000, if it's more than 100,000 per year, per child. We are before even university. We are not even talking about high school. First thing I'm telling you, the most expensive course for a child is preschool, creche. Creche is the most expensive. So the expenses of a baby does not just stop giving birth is done. No, there are costs you need to bear in mind. After 1 year, baby needs roughly creches go up to 7,000, 9,000 rands a month. So if you are having a baby that you want to have good future, that you love so much, you would want the best for your child. I'm not advocating against having children. I love children. I really would love. I'm one of those women that would love to have 10 babies. Everyone that knows me knows I'm mad about babies. I love babies. But life has taught me there are things you need to think about. There are things you need to prioritize before having a baby. Now we are done with the private hospital. Not done. I introduced you to the other costs that might not be covered by medical aid, that you might need to use cash, which is fetal assessment center. Okay, we went well with the fetal assessment center. Thank God for the provision. We had the means to pay for that. We paid for the fetal assessment center. And here come, I was working, the father of the baby was working. Here comes 32 weeks. Complications again. I came back from work. I was in pain. But I was too far away from due date. My due date was way, 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 way too far. Too far. But here comes another surprise. I'm in labor. Real labor, guys. 32 weeks. I'm in labor. Real labor. Guys, Habi was at work. Like I told you, the decision not to take the faraway hospital. My hospital was far away from where I was staying, and it's a busy road and highway and so many robots, and it was far. Thank God for me being a strong woman and a strong person in labor, like 8 centimeters. I managed to drive myself to the hospital, even though I couldn't reach the hospital because I was already 9 centimeters at 32 weeks, guys. This is one, affect my work. Two, affects my already planned leave, maternity leave. Everything, things just change like that. That's pregnancy. You can't control it. It's beyond your control. It's beyond your imagination as a person. It's beyond what you can think about. Thank God for private hospital again. I stopped my car where I could and I started hooting until another lady saw me, and because I was so huge and massive, if anyone could see me in my car, that there is a heavily pregnant woman. Security came, the nurse came, checked me. Oh, I'm 9 centimeters. Immediately they called my gynae. We have got your patient. Who is your gynae? You tell them. The moment you give them the details, they call your gynae. That's private, guys. Gynae, your patient is here. How many centimeters? 9 centimeters. That's impossible. She's too far away. She can't. Okay, start doing this. Do this. Do this. Do this. Do this. Your gynae start, because it's private hospital. Attention is given to you, specifically for you. There is no waiting in the queue. There is no introduction. There is nothing. Your information is already in the system by the time you are there. So any complication you have, immediately I was taken to the labor ward, immediately into my own spacious, guys, spacious hotel, 5-star hotel, spacious room. It really looks, if you don't know Blouberg Netcare, it really looks like a 5-star hotel. No, not 5-star, 6-star, not 6-star, 10-star, guys, 10-star. I'll give you 10-star hotel. There you are in your 10-star hotel. You immediately forget about the pains and everything. I'm kidding. Labor pain, 9 centimeters, guys. It's real pain. You are just unbearable. You don't even think about the spacious room. But there I was in my own room, all my luggage, the what do you call them? The porter went to fetch my car from where it was, my handbag, everything, my wallet, my cell phone. Because I was in pain, I could not think of all those things. Everything was brought to me, like brought to me, safe. There was no missing money, no missing earring, no missing coin, nothing. The security packed the bags, brought them, go upstairs. They could have stolen if they wanted. There's no cameras all over. They could have done, but everything was perfect and was brought into my room. Attention was on me, 100% attention. My guy arrives. The nurses are on me. Some are sponging your hair, guys. I'm telling you, like, consider this like a sponge, like a wet towel, like a soft wet cloth. They're sponging you like this. Some are talking to you. Hi, ma'am. Don't worry. Where is the pain? Is it your back? Oh, yeah, it's my back. Some is massaging you. Is it your back, ma'am? Is it making you feel better if I rub like this? Guys, I'm talking of qualified nurses, all races, on you. Guys, I'm saying on you. Guys, I'm not talking of one nurse. I'm talking of 3 nurses, 4 nurses, doctor on the other side, my gynae on the other side, like a real team surrounding you in this spacious room. Someone is asking you, ma'am, is the aircon okay? Are you feeling cold? Are you feeling hot? Is your bed comfortable? Can I adjust it a little bit? Ma'am, can I continue massaging your back? Oh, yes, massage my back. Oh, make it deeper. Oh, doctor, I'm in pain. My gynecologist is busy connecting the machines, checking the baby, and all that doing is not giving the other sisters instructions. Some are taking instructions. Some are bringing the injections. Some is rubbing my back. Some is massaging me. Some is blowing my face. Someone is sponging. Oh, guys, it was like the whole team on you, giving you all this attention, all this comfort, guys. Someone is adjusting the pillow. Oh, this side, someone rubs this side. Oh, this side, someone rubs this side. Because I was so big and huge, I'm telling you guys, this is the care that is given at a private hospital. I'm not lying. I'm not exaggerating. And I'll never exaggerate. And I'll never lie, guys. This is the reality that I experienced. And I'm getting an injection. You get, excuse me, ma'am. This is going to be a very, very painful injection. We are giving it to you because it's for the baby. The baby wants to come and the water wants to come. Even though my gynecologist was talking to me, he was very soft. He explained to me what was going to happen. But because he was done with me, he had to go look for another or attend to something else. I'm not so sure. He left instructions to these qualified sisters. Now the sister comes to me and says, excuse me, ma'am, this injection is going to be stingy. It stings. But I'm going to make it very nice and softly relax. Are you afraid of injection? I said, yes, I'm afraid of needles. Okay, ma'am, just relax. It's going to be very fine. The other one is massaging me. The other one is blowing. The other one is injecting. Oh, that injection was so painful. But immediately they rub it. Oh, they put something, I don't know, whatever it is. They start blowing you. Ma'am, would you like a cup of tea? Would you like coffee? What do you want? What can we give you? Do you like a piece of cake? Comfort food? Guys, this is private hospital in labor. I'm like, no, I don't want to eat. Okay, ma'am, have you contacted your husband? Can we call him and tell him that you are here? Please call him. I told him I was driving, but I don't know. Okay, someone is on a call contacting your family. Hello, she arrived safely. This is what happened. They're briefing him. They're telling him what the procedure is starting. Guys, this is private hospital experience. Who else do you want us to call? No, that's fine. It's going to communicate to everyone. Do you want us to call your best friend? Oh, yeah, call my best friend. Call my best friend. Brief him. Ma'am, this is your phone. Ma'am, do you want your husband to come sleep over here? Huh? Yes, guys. That's private hospital. You can have at Blouberg Netcare, you can have your partner sleep with you in your labor room. They'll give him a bed. You can choose double, single, queen, whatever. He can sleep next to you whilst you are in labor. He can have rest whilst they are attending to you. You have got a remote that calls a sister anytime. They'll tell you, ma'am, now you will see that you are resting. We are going to give you time to rest. If you need anything, just press a bell. You have got a bell to press a nurse or to press a doctor. Guys, that's private hospital. And the moment you ring that bell, Before it finishes ringing, someone is already next to you. How can I help you, ma'am? What do you want? You want to go to the toilet? How can I help you? If you want to go to the toilet, guys, you have got like 6 people around you. If you want them to carry you, they can carry you. If you want, yo, guys, that's private hospital. So I was there with all the comfort and with all the medication, the pains. They're monitoring the pains. They're monitoring the contractions. I was on 9 centimeter. My doctor explained to me, no, we don't want the baby to come. The baby is too early, so we are going to try to stop this. They told me the procedures that they were going to try to stop. They gave me the injection so that the lungs of the baby can fast forward, like in developing the lungs of the baby. And they gave me pain medication and all that and comfort meal. The menu immediately comes, guys. You get a menu to choose your meal for day. You choose your breakfast for tomorrow. You tick what you want. If you're not feeling well to make your decision on your meal, you have got the opportunity to decide it some other time. That's private hospital, guys. You have got the opportunity to do that. Okay, here I am. Around 3 a.m. the next I was like in pain again. The contractions were coming so bad. My doctor was home. My gynecologist was home. They say, you know what, ma'am, now we need to call your gynecologist. Gynecologist was called. Please, you need to come. The contractions, we can't control them. They keep pushing. So the water that I had, because I was massive, I had too much water within me, was pushing, and I was in pain. So in private hospital, guys, you can be in pain and you don't feel the pain, but the machine reads the pain that you are in pain. So the sisters monitors you, monitors the machine because you'll be connected to the machine. So the monitors, when the pains, the contractions are too much, starts beeping. And my gynecologist immediately came. He just drove. That's private, guys. Me 3 a.m. he left his house. He woke up from bed just to come to attend to me. Jean, unfortunately, is getting out of hand. So I need to call your family, your husband, everyone, notify them that the decision I'm taking now as your gynecologist is to bring the baby out. These are the pros and cons. He explains to you, he talks to you. But because I was in pain, I was like, yeah, doctor, I trust you. You are my homie. You're not gonna let me down. You are my homie. You're not gonna let me down. Guys, he was Zimbabwean. He was an amazing gynecologist. May his soul continue to rest in peace. I was like, Dr. Matinde, you know what's best for me. You know what's good. You have been preventing this because the other fetal assessment center had advised him to drain the water so that the baby can stay longer, but he was against it. So they had fought from 5 months to where I was to keep the baby inside, but the water was just pushing. The baby wanted to come out. Not the baby, but the water wanted to come out because the water was just too much in my stomach. So we're told that they were going to arrange with everyone because with the private hospital, they need to have the pediatrician. And because it was going to be a preterm baby, they need to prepare the neonatal for the baby, which is a place where they take preterm babies when they are born. They go to the neonatal care where they are taken care of far away from the maternity ward with the mom. And the neonatal care is something else, guys. It also comes with its own challenges and with its own costs, which is far completely different. These are things that are just erupting, like this in an emergency operation that is coming up, not planned. C-section was planned, but emergency C-section wasn't planned. They have to reschedule. They have to book anesthesian, the person that gives you that spinal cord injection for the C-section. Because, like I said yesterday, in South Africa, they do not operate you whilst you're asleep. They operate you half body from your boobs going up. You're wide awake, even your heartbeat is your heart is pumping, everything is functioning, and then from your stomach going down, you are numb, you don't feel anything. So they operate you and they do. So yeah, that's how they started preparing. They had to prepare, the pediatrician has to be on standby. They had to create room for my baby in neonatal because they knew this baby was this 32 weeks. This baby was coming out so at this time. So they were preparing everything. It's neonatal at Netcare. They are so strict. They are so strict. I'm telling you, it's a high care for babies. It's like intensive care for newborn babies. It's high care, it's strict, but those people are amazing. They know what they do. They are specialists. I have nothing to say, guys. I have nothing to say. I'm speechless up to now. So next day, it was already the next day. It was already the next day. 30th of May, my baby was born. I was ready, went for C-section. They had also complications trying to get the baby out because of the water. So they had to start to drain the water, cut me, drain the water because the baby was already swimming, so they couldn't catch the baby and all that. And the baby they managed to get the baby, nye, 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 cry, and he was short of breath because his lungs were not fully developed. He was struggling to breathe. Immediately, the pediatrician, because it's private, pediatrician is on standby, and all the specialists for the baby are on standby for the baby. And then the father, we had to just decide who's gonna go with the baby. And I was like, no, I'm good. I can stay with my gynae. So he took the baby, and the pediatrician and the specialist for the baby, they go to the neonatal department with the baby. And they just showed me, this is your baby. And yeah, I had my baby cry, and he kept quiet. And then I kept on because I was worried because of what you could see, because you are wide awake. You could see what's happening. What's happening is my baby okay? It's like, no, no, baby's struggling to breathe. But if that's what you are doing now, they put oxygen on the baby, they roll the baby away. But I was worried, but my gynae told me, you know what, this is the best pediatrician and the best neonatician. He's a specialist for that. So don't worry, your baby's in good hands. I arranged for that. Thank you so much, the late Dr. Matinde. May your soul continue to rest in peace. Guys, so this was my experience in the private hospital. And then because they took so long with the draining of the water, baby coming out and rushing for the baby and all that, I felt so much cold. I think because they opened me. Normally it's quicker for a C-section. Like with my first one, I think it was like less than 30 minutes it was done. But this one, I think it was, I don't know, I can't judge. It was, I just started shivering. The shiver affected me. I was shivering from head to toe. But because it's private hospital, guys, they've got these heaters, which I saw for the first time. Heaters, it's like pipes. They put heater all over your body, like pipes, heater. I don't know, guys. It's the new thing. What can you expect? It's private hospital. I was done. My C-section was successful. I was warded to my precious 10-star room hotel at Blouberg Netcare. And my journey started, my healing journey. And yeah, there's a lot that I also left, like preparing me for the C-section, because the baby came when I wasn't prepared. And that week, I wasn't like shoving down there. So they shave you, and when you're in private hospital, they take care of the blood. You don't touch blood, you don't change pads. That is taken care of. Guys, it's amazing. It's amazing. If you want to be treated like a queen for once in your life, or if you want to be treated like the princess, go private route. Eh? Private hospital is, you pay for it, but you get the best amazing service. So being me, given the opportunity, choose Eugene. Which one would you go for? Private hospital or a government hospital? Guys, I would go for private hospital. Why? It's good. I would go for government hospital if there are no means. But if there are means, and if you as a couple, before you get married, before you pay lobola, before you do your white wedding to please people, think about these things. Because white wedding costs so much. That money you could save, instead of having a big all the way wedding, you can have a small wedding. Take that money, save it towards your baby. If you are planning to having your baby soon after the wedding, I would rather do that. Have savings. So my encouragement to everyone, even if it's government hospital, there are costs involved, guys. If you are not a resident, you still need to pump out some money. So with a baby and with complications, like for mine, my baby came early. It was a preterm baby. He had to stay in hospital for 20 something days, and we had to drive to and fro, to and fro. Those are costs, fuel costs, food costs, lunch and supper, because I was still getting my lunch and supper at the hospital. And the other thing, when you go private hospital with medical aid, bear in mind, like in my case, it ended up being an emergency C-section, which means we ended up using some people, like some specialists, which were not under my network. Like anesthesia didn't fall under my network. My gynecologist was under my network. So there were a lot of other things that were done that were not under my network. Those are called um, what is the term used for this now? Extra expenses that come to you. Medical aid will pay, but they're called shortfalls. So shortfalls, you pay them. So after having my son at Netcare, my initial shortfall before the hospital and the specialist had to explain and to write motivations to the hospital why they had to do a C-section, my initial shortfall was 350,000 rands. Guys, think about it. So imagine if it was cash with such a shortfall. So that was including keeping the baby in neonatal care and all that. So guys, bear in mind when you want to go private, always have extra expenses for extra things that may come up. You might choose your network hospital might not have your network gynecologist. So you might end up also using a gynecologist that does not fall under your network of your medical aid, which means you need to pay extra again to your gynecologist every month you go for your visit. So the only difference is there is no queue. Your appointment is scheduled. It's flexible. When you visit your gynecologist, it's like you're visiting your mom. It's like you're visiting your mom. He or she cares about you. You are spoiled. You are what? You are pampered. It's the luxuries that comes with private compared to government. There is no one insulting you. Just like even after having your baby, the vaccinations, everything is just like you're treated like a princess or I don't know, that's private. So you need to think about it. Do you want, and your partner can visit you anytime, any day, any hour. There is no time limit for him. He's allowed to visit you anytime he wants in private hospital. Whereas in government hospital, you stick to morning visit, afternoon visit, and evening visit. Secondly, in private hospital, they teach you, even if you're a second mom, they still teach you how to breastfeed. They teach you how to bath your baby. They teach you how to walk, how to get out of bed with your C-section. Everything is taught in private hospital. And the nurses and the staff, because they are not overcrowded, they don't work under pressure. They're always pleasant, they're always relaxed. It's like a family. It's like your family in hospital. It's like you've got a new family in hospital. That was my experience, guys. Some had bad experiences also in private hospitals, but that was my experience in private hospital. And if I am going to have a baby again, baby number 3, baby number 4, baby number 5, because I love babies, guys. The only thing that limits me from not having babies is ching, 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 because I understand and I know and I've got knowledge of how the process starts and how the process ends. And I've experience of both the state and the private hospital. So guys, this is the end of my video today, comparing the government, and the government hospital offers you the same, but do not expect a spacious room that you have on your own. No, there in government hospital, you meet middle class, high class, lower class, street people. All of you are in that room. Secondly, in government hospital, there is no safety of your baby kids clothes, your bags. You need to be alert 24/7. The nurses can't do that. They are so busy. It's busy. Those people work. They work, guys. There is no time for that. So you can lose your stuff. You can lose your baby stuff. Like I told you, I lost my ring. Up to now, the last time I saw it was that time when the nurse was saying, "You've got a beautiful ring." That was it. But everything that I went with to the private hospital, I told you, I even left my bag, my car keys, my handbag. Everything was handed back to me safely. So the standards are obviously different because this one is private, and the people that go to private, there is no way you're gonna have the number of babies given, people giving birth in private hospital like the same number in government hospital. And government hospital, remember, cannot say no to anyone. But in private hospital, you don't have cash deposit. You are not working with them. They'll turn you away. You don't just wake up with your pregnancy and you are ready and you expect to go to a private hospital. They'll not attend to you. They need to know who is your gynae. Where are your records? Whom should we call? So your information, your file, your profile is built up along the process. So if you want to go the private route, go the private route, but please also bear in mind, always have savings stashed somewhere for other costs like fetal assessment center, neonatal costs, or emergency sections. And also have extra savings for shortfalls from the medical aid. Also, with government hospital, there are good government hospitals, and it depends with the area, it depends with the place, and it depends with the season also, how busy was it. I also heard a lot of people that went to state hospitals after me, and they had good experience. Why? Because it wasn't busy. So it depends. But when you plan, if you want your husband to be with you, to your husband to help you with the baby, your family to be inside anytime you want, then don't go the government way. Because they only come 3 times a day: morning, afternoon, and evening. Whereas in private, you can even have your partner sleep in the same room with you and your newborn baby. As much as the sisters will be helping you, your partner will be helping you. And for Netcare Blouberg, they give a couple's dinner 3 days after giving birth. They throw you a dinner before you are discharged. And you don't stay 5 days, you stay 4 days. So a couple's dinner, they make a romantic dinner for you and your babe, the newly mother and father of the baby. They make you a candlelit dinner just for the two of you, for just to congratulate you, which is very romantic, especially for people that just had a newborn baby. And with all the stresses and the pressure, it's time for you to relax and talk. And your gynecologist comes to congratulate you. That was the last time. No, no, no. That was the third last time I saw my gynae before he passed away. And my gynecologist unfortunately passed away a few weeks after I gave birth. May his soul continue rest in peace. I thought he was there in my life for a purpose, to show me that humankind is good, to show me how dedicated he was to his career. He left a mark not only on me, but on a lot of people that he helped. Dr. Matinde, Professor Matinde, may your soul continue to rest in peace. You are, and you always be a story in my child's life. And the neonatal doctor, I keep forgetting his name, the neonatal specialist, he was amazing. And the team at Blouberg Netcare, from the maternity side, the nurses, the staff, and the neonatal department, heads up to you and shout out to you. You were so amazing. And the cooking team and the cleaning team, they are all supportive, even from the receptionist. Guys, Blouberg Netcare, I'll refer you to anyone anytime. If you had bad experience there, I'm sorry. I had a good experience, and I give to Caesar what belongs to Caesar. 100% to Netcare Blouberg for the experience that I had in my challenging situations. So I think I've answered all the questions that my sponsor asked me to talk about regarding giving birth. And at Netcare, they also do like vaccinations for your baby. You can still visit them for your vaccinations. You don't need to wake up early to, like in private, to go stand in the queue to get your baby, get the vaccinations. You can do the private. Again, I want to highlight something. In South Africa, children have the best care. Excuse me. So for me, instead of going for vaccinations at the private hospital, I ended up going to the government, to the state hospital with my baby, because near me was a beautiful state clinic, which was amazing, like beautiful. It was amazing. It You just had to wait in the queue just for a few minutes, but it was free of charge. And baby, children in South Africa have got the best high care. So if you have got a baby in South Africa, once you have your baby, children have got the best care in South Africa. The health care for children, I'm telling you, is, whether state or private, the healthcare for the children, South Africa have got a high priority for their children. For any child in South Africa, not their children, for any child that lives in South Africa, they get the best medical attention. That I must say. Private or government, children get best medical care and attention. And if you've got a sick child, you don't wait for so long, no matter how busy it is. That department moves like this everywhere you go with children. Sometimes, like state, when it's a busy day, it's a busy day. But normally, children are attended faster and quicker than adults. So that was my comparison: giving birth in government hospital versus giving birth in state hospital, in private hospital. I will go for private. I'll go for state if I know there's a nice state private hospital, which I've heard about, but personally, before having a baby, ching ching, private hospital, medical aid, private hospital. Me, I still prefer my second experience, even though it was challenging, even though it was difficult, but private care is the best. So this is my comparison. I hope we don't Miss Anonymous, who sponsored this video. Unfortunately, I ended up had to do two days, and is discussed, cut up some stuff about postnatal visits and yeah, baby stuff. Yeah, just let me just mention this. There's also extra cost that comes after having a baby. Let's say you have a healthy baby, government or state. There's some cost that comes with baby. Your baby can cry like colic babies. You still need to go buy some extra medicines, go see the doctor and all that. So there is still expenses with babies, guys. So before you think of having a baby, don't use a baby to win a man. Don't use a baby for personal gains. It's a human being. And growing up is a challenge. And they come with their own costs that if you do it for other reasons, which is not love and planning for it, you will regret it. I pray that all young couples that watch this video, you will be helped. Set your priorities straight, guys. And I keep emphasizing, do not think of doing big weddings. Not that I'm against big weddings, but guys, there are things that need money. You will only realize after your big wedding that you wasted money, that you could have saved. Ladies, especially young girls, you once a guy, traditionally, especially in our African culture, once a guy pays your lobola, your family is happy with him, they give him permission to get married to you. You can still do a small ceremony, get married, because you still need to get married, not the traditional way, the white wedding way, but you can go to court, you can do in your pastor's office, till marriage. If you can save money, if you really want to have children, think about this and watch my video. If your girlfriend is putting pressure on you on having a white wedding, guys, listen to me and listen to me very careful. There are things that needs to be done traditionally, like kusungira in our African culture. It needs money before the baby is born. Having your mother-in-law to travel to look after your wife. There are so many things that shall need money. Unless you say you're going to get married, have a big white wedding. You and your wife, you work for 10 years to save money before you have a baby. Big up to you. But if you want to get married and have a baby, mm-mm, mm-mm. Priorities. Set your priorities straight. Guys, don't put pressure on guys to marry you. Allow the men to work and save. If you can pay lobola, that's it. If you can wait and save money, don't put pressure on guys to have white weddings, because you are the ones that are going to suffer. Pregnancy is not easy. Pregnancy comes with its own complications. Pregnancy comes with its own costs that you hate this man again if he can't provide for the funds that are needed. So think twice before having babies. What if you give birth to a child that has got heart problems? What if you give birth to a child that has got kidney problems? You're going to be staying in and out of hospital. One of you is not going to be able to work. So if you have calculated that you will do this and that, some things need motherly care. With my son, I spent the first 2 years of his life in and out of hospital. 3/4 of his first 2 years, we were in hospital. And I was working, I was studying. Not every woman can do that. So I will never, ever encourage you to rush to have a big white wedding, to make people eat rice, cake, and the salads and meat and all that when you don't have savings. Mm-mm. That's foolishness, guys. I'll say it again, foolishness. Think twice before you have an expensive wedding. Do you have savings? Unless you tell me you're not planning to have a baby, have your dream wedding. Guys, you can have your dream wedding when you've got funds, but you can still be blessed with your pastor. What is important is pay your lobola traditionally. If you're African, get the blessings from your family, get the blessings from your government, which is having your marriage registered, get the blessings from your pastor. You need the blessings from your pastor. That means go to the pastor and have you bless you. That's like officiating your marriage. If you don't have money for a big wedding, that's very important. I encourage everyone to do that. Don't skip those processes. Get blessings from your parents. Get blessings from God through your pastor or a minister or a preacher or a priest. Get blessings from your government through registering your marriage. It's very important. And then get blessings from the society. Lastly, but before you do that, do things right. Don't rush. Don't pressure guys. Don't put pressure on ladies. Don't think if I fall pregnant, it's going to marry me quicker. You're regretting that marriage. Pregnancy is not guaranteed. Neither is a baby. Guys, don't think if you're impregnant, it's a quick way. You cry, my brother. Pregnancy is not easy. It comes with its own challenges. So this is my advice to young couples. Save, save, save money for your unborn baby, for pregnancy, for before pregnancy. Guys, it's good for you also these days with all the diseases that are coming up. As a young lady, hey, go see a gynecologist before you think of having a baby. There are some things that you can prevent. Have your blood checked out. I'm not talking of HIV tests only. There are things that they can see and detect before you start planning to have a baby. So don't rush to have a baby before you know where you are standing. I'm not saying everyone must do it. I'm not saying you must listen to me. It's just advice. And to the couple watching, I hope and when you watch this video, you got all the clarity and answers that you want. But I pray and wish you all the best with your pregnancy, and I hope you make the right decisions. But please consider also checking on small private clinics, midwives, especially since it's first time, you can have natural birth with a nice midwife. There are amazing midwives that charge affordable prices out there. Besides, and they also have got nice places where you can give birth, and you can also give birth if you've got a beautiful home. You can also give birth in the comfort of your home. They'll bring all the stuff that is needed so that your house won't be messy. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Zimbabwean lives matter. I'll still say it as I close my video. And God bless Zimbabwe. God bless Africa. God bless South Africa. And God bless everyone that is watching. I'm your girl, Jean Kiditeng Chirenje Kobole. I'm out. I'm out. 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 I'm out. 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 I'm out. Out. Guys, this video doesn't want to end. Why?